G'day people, welcome to Perth WAtch, your horology channel broadcasting from right here in Perth, Western Australia. Today I have this product which is pretty awesome. This is a watch winder from EnigWatch, which I will be reviewing and talking about the features of this particular product, but I will also be discussing whether you actually need a watch winder. So stick with me to the end of the video to have all this discussion. Now this is a pretty solid stuff, and it does have fingerprint ID here, which you can see works very well. And I just want to show you the cushions here, which actually have the brand name on it. It doesn't have the brand name anywhere else in an obvious location, which is actually a good thing. I think it's a little bit under the radar. It's a bit clean skin in a sense. Now EnigWatch, as far as I can tell, established over 30 years ago. 1992 is what they said it started. The founder originally is a German yacht designer, then went on to have an interest in making luxury home safes, and then subsequently expanded into keeping of luxury items, including watches, and therefore going into watch winders. And this really comes through, I think, in the construction, in the materials that you can see in this winder. This is really a step up from all the other stuff that I have reviewed, and we'll go into it in a little bit more detail. Check out more about the company. There's parts about the history and how they expanded and went into providing accessories and keeping for other luxury items. Their number listed on the website is a US number, and they do have a presence in the UAE as well. So kind of an affluent luxury retail space there is really what they have placed themselves, which is fair enough because this product is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful, and this is the Impresario Series 2 watch winders. 2 meaning is a double watch winder, as you can see. And as I pan it around, I'm gonna have to lift this camera up. Actually, let me just do this. Something I don't usually do. So you can see beautiful Macassar wood, or Macassar. This is a type of ivory, and you can see the veins coming through here. They call it golden ivory. I think that's one of the names for it. And you can see that's named for the veins of the wood coming through that you can see there. In terms of the dimensions, right, it's 195 deep, 195 wide. So it's a square, and overall height is 350 millimeters. So it is actually quite high. This is a piano gloss type of finish, and overall weight, I have to say this is very, very substantial. It wants to keep reflecting, including reflecting me here, but 5.5 kilograms is this weight. So quite a bit of postage that they had to pay to get this to me, and which I really appreciate. You saw the finger lock system. Okay, I'm just going to put this down. It stores up to 5 fingerprints, which is handy. Apparently 99.9% or 98.9% accuracy. That's what they say. It's got 2 separate programmable rotors here. I'm just going to open it up. Okay, 2 separate rotors here, Mabuchi rotors, which are, you keep hearing about these Japanese Mabuchi rotors, apparently the quietest in the business. There's an LED lighting system, which I'll show you. In the website, it says adjustable intensity and color. I don't think this model has that. This just has a single color. Electromagnetic radiation protection. That's what is said on there. I'm not 100% sure whether this has it. Apparently, it's got a mu metal or copper foil layer to protect from electromagnetic and radio frequency, which is pretty cool if indeed it has it. But even if it doesn't, this is definitely going to protect you from any nearby magnets, right? It's just the solidity and the thickness of this material. And I just want to show you this control panel. It's lovely, right? Look at that. It's brushed aluminium, and it's got, or stainless steel, and it's got just very old school quality buttons. So just, just the on off there, it feels great. You've got a charge button because you can actually unplug this and that lock will still work. And then it's got the rotation switch here, which I will turn on now because I want to show you how it actually works. So just talking about the inside as well. So, this is described as soft, durable microfiber leather. So perhaps not real, but synthetic, but it's excellent. The feel of this is just, everything is soft. I mean, not the touch screen, of course, but everything is soft. It just has a layer of quality and luxury that is not present in the previous watchwinders that I have reviewed. Now this, just to mention the price, $899 USD. Maybe it goes on discount, but look, for $899 for the wood, the real wood that you're getting, the finishing, the quality, the technology, you definitely see what you're paying for. I've reviewed $50 watchwinders, $100. I think even a $400 wolf winder. Put links to stuff I've done in the past here. This is well in ahead, head and shoulders above those other products, including Wolf, which is, a pretty, fairly well-known brand amongst watch aficionados, right? This is really a level of luxury above. And if you look at their website, they got, 12 watchwinders. They got safes, which are well and above into the 5-figure price range. But it looks like you get what you pay for. Those safes look like they will withstand, a fire for a long time. They're proper security. Anyway, back to this. So how does this work? Well, you can turn it on, right? So that's just a touchscreen, and it's really quite awesome. It works very well. No problems with sensitivity. Right? You can change this. Turns per day. You guys, I think, are all familiar with this if you're into watches. So up to 2002, down to 650. It defaults at 900, and that will probably keep just about anything running, right? In terms of automatic watches, you can select individually whether it's the first or second winder or both. And you can also change the direction if you have unidirectional winders. That's a little bit tricky because you have to just orientate if you have a unidirectional winder. I tend to just leave it in the double direction so you don't have to think about it. I think most people will probably do that. And look at this. This is one of the cooler features. You do have to turn it on, I find, with the remote, actually. I'm not sure whether that's a slight glitch there, but once you turn it on with the remote, start it winding and turn it on, it actually stays on, right? There's a slight glitch in this one, but don't know whether it's just my thing. Anyway, you can stop it, and it'll go always to the upright position. Stop with the EnigWatch there as it is. And then let me just show you how it works with watches. I've just pulled out some of my current favorites. So this is my Ball Fireman, which is pretty cool watch. And just see how it fits on here. And you can see you just kind of clip it on, very nicely sprung there, nothing too much, and it centers the watch very nicely. And then I've got, wristwatch check. I've got my Moonwatch on. So I'm just going to put this in here for display purposes. Okay, so again, I'm just going to put it on here, and it just fits in nicely, right? Nothing too much in terms of things you have to press or put pressure on. It's very gentle, nothing too hard, and then it just, clicks in nicely there. And I'm just going to put it rotating. And it looks great. It looks excellent. At night, if this is the only thing in the room, this piece could, a 2-piece, a 6-piece, a 12-piece could easily feature in the middle of your collection if you have a particular, type of display in your home, if that's what you want to do. Right, so that's what it looks like. I'm going to turn it maybe towards the darker side so it's actually visible. Okay, so that's how it looks like. Gorgeously done box, but now I just want to mention about watchwinders. Do you actually need a watchwinder? I think I've previously discussed this. They kind of are like watches. Nobody really needs a watch. Nobody really needs a watchwinder. These days it is more of a convenience to some people, and arguably maybe it's a luxury. Something to show off if you want to show your collection. Not so much into the history and all the story behind watches. So it doesn't have all that. It is really just a convenience and a luxury, I reckon. Probably it's only arguable if you have an annual or perpetual calendar piece where, it's going to be a real hassle and maybe, probably time consuming, maybe even wearing down if you had to wind it days and days every time you reset it, right? Perpetual or annual calendar, that's, I guess, where it might be arguably the place where it has it. If you have a quick set date watch, like this Ball, right? This is a very simple, right? Quick set date, nothing too fancy, just an Eto base movement. I think it's not going to be the place for that type of watch. I would recommend that you just set it every time you're going to wear it. That's really how I would use a watchwinder. can it actually cause harm over winding a watch? I think maybe in some vintage oil movements where there's no over winding protection, possibly, possibly. But any modern watch, that you've bought in the last 20 years, they do tend to have over winding protection, and therefore you're not going to cause harm by just, keep rotating and keep winding it with the rotor. It is very, very unlikely to happen. What I would say though, for the reason of wear and tear, the fact is that if you're going to keep your watches running all the time when you don't really need to, say, just simple watches, not this Omega, obviously, this is actually a hand wind, like a simple ETA-based watch, a Seiko, whatever, even watches with manufacturer movements as Omega are doing these days. If you're going to keep them running, well, there's no question that you will cause more wear and tear. You don't get something for nothing. The lubricants, the metal, gears and all that, they will wear down more, and therefore you might need to service it more if you're going to keep the watches running perpetually when you don't need to. I think setting it every time you pick it up, like most of us will have more than one of these, several watches. There's a bit of catharsis to that. It's an enjoyable thing to me, just setting the time, taking the time to appreciate the mechanism of the watch every time you, kind of pick one up to use again. I think there's some value in that, and that's what I would recommend doing. I wouldn't recommend running a watch winder perpetually. I guess if you do have watches where you might have, like to switch between watches where it might be just above the power reserve. Say, let's say you have 3 days between rotations and your power reserve is only 48 hours. Okay, so maybe there is a little bit of a question there whether you would keep it running over the time that you are using that watch in rotation. That's the other place where I think winders do have a place. So let me know what you think. Really interested in your opinions, your experiences in watch winders. Now, just going back into this particular one, what I think are the strengths, right? As I do this, look, I think this is gorgeously done. The wood is absolutely beautiful, right? I've kind of showcased this already, and I'm going to do more B-rolls and stuff here. Really, really well finished, fine metal panel at the back. That itself also feels premium, and the interior, as I said, absolutely feels premium, and including these holders. They have these simple cushion holders as well, but these are really the ones I think I will be using. I think that the options, the touchscreen here is really, intuitive. It's easy to use. It feels like a modern product. It's got good options, a good amount of choices there. It's got premium holders, and these Mabuchi rotors are indeed quite. I closed the door just then, and I don't think this camera is going to pick up anything at all. I can barely hear it in this room as I was running these particular rotors. Now, is there any weaknesses? Well, look, I'm not sure why it says watch winder there, as if it's not bleedingly obvious enough. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe if they have a safe version, there's particular controls for different parts. They need to differentiate that. But in this one, it just looks a little bit superfluous. And then I mentioned that the light thing was a little bit finicky at the start. Once you get it running, not a problem. But the start was just a slight bit finicky. But that's about it. I think overall, this is an excellent quality product. Hopefully you can appreciate that as I've shown you this. Let me know what you think, guys. Really interested to hear your experiences. If you have any luxury winders, if you have experience with EnigWatch, look forward to discussions below. Thank you again, guys, always for sticking with me. I'll obviously catch you next time.